Welcome to our weekly episode of Let's Talk Staff. This week, I put our son on the spotlight. Sometimes, a child will see what we as adults may not see and assume as an obvious thing. In the words of John W. Gardner, if you have some respect for people as they are, you can be more effective in helping them to become better than they are. This week on Let's Talk Staff, episode 4, I bring you the story through the eyes of our son on social status prejudice. This is Let's Talk Staff with Njenga. Greetings wherever you are watching us from across the world. Welcome to episode number 4 of LTS. Thank you for your feedback and your comments. Indeed, we do value and appreciate so much. Now, all feedback will be considered. And once again, we want to thank you and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And do not forget to click the notification bell so that you can be able to get our weekly updates once we upload them. Now, today, I put our son on the spotlight. Sometimes the child will tend to see things that are not so obvious to the eyes of an adult. If you have some respect for people as they are, you can be more effective in helping them to become better than they are. These are famous words that I quote from John W. Gardner. And this week on Let's Talk Staff, through the eyes of our son. In our episode today, we focus on social status prejudice or discrimination. And the big question is, why was he discriminated? And in context here, it is as a result of the story that my son had to share, which we shall be sharing shortly. Now, in the year 2018, our son gave a speech in one of a contest that he won in his category. Now, although his speech touched base on various forms of discrimination, allow me to just present to you an excerpt from that speech this week so that we can get to understand what exactly we are focusing on social prejudice. Take a look.
And to my second point, social status discrimination. Desmond Tutu said, do the little bits of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. One lovely evening, while my family and I were having dinner at a fancy restaurant, this man came in. This man caught my attention because his clothes were ragged and somewhat dirty. To my surprise, he kept on calling the waitress, who said he should just be patient. People who came in after this man were served almost immediately. After waiting for more than half an hour, this man stood up, uttered some words which I could not understand, then left the restaurant. I felt disappointed. Had this man been discriminated because of the way he dressed? Did the way he dressed not match the standard of the restaurant?
There you have it. Son, welcome to Let's Talk. It is really, really lovely to have you on our channel.
Thank you very much, Daddy, for inviting me onto the channel. And I am truly honored to be here. I believe that you're doing a super great thing here and you're inspiring all of your viewers. You are my mentor and someone who I look up to.
Now, today I'm going to put you on the spotlight. You are growing, and sooner or later, after a couple of years, you will become an employee, or better still, an employer. Now, you tell me what prompted you to say what you said 4 years ago in that speech.
I wrote that because I felt disappointed. I felt disappointed with the way that waitress treated the man. Because not only did she discriminate him, she also lost a valuable client. Peradventure, this man could have been a mystery shopper or a food critic who could inflict major damage into the restaurant's revenue and reputation.
Now, given a chance, if you are in a position similar to that waitress in that restaurant, what would you have done different?
I would have served that man regardless of the way he had dressed. Because you have to remember, at the end of the day, black or white, Asian or American, rich or poor, a customer is a customer. And it doesn't matter what a person looks like on the outside. What matters to the restaurant is if they're willing to pay.
All right. Would you then go back to that same restaurant?
I would not go back to the restaurant because I wouldn't want what happened to that man to happen to me. And you have to remember, at the end of the day, you should never judge a book by its cover. And I also don't want to be judged because of the way I look.
Would you invite or recommend your friends to that restaurant?
I would not recommend them to go to the restaurant because I wouldn't want what happened to that man to happen to my friends. I wouldn't want them to be judged because of something, because of their preferences.
Wow, that's very, very deep indeed. Thank you so much for joining us in our episode this week, and we really, really appreciate your participation.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I am really honored to be here.
Now, there you have it from the eyes of a child. Now, let's reflect on this incident. If you are in the same position, would you want to be treated any different? And if so, how would you feel? Now, social status prejudice is very much present and alive in our workplaces and in our modern world. Now, irrespective of the place that you work or the industry that you are currently in, I submit my view today that treat any client, any customer, or any guest, irrespective of who this person is, in a manner that is void of any form of perception that may cloud your judgment and cause what we call prejudice in service delivery. Now, this waiter could have probably attended to the guest without any bias. Peradventure, this guest was a mystery shopper, or better still, he could be a performer who was just on a break with his costumes on, or just an ordinary person willing to pay and be served. Now, the big question is, regardless of who he could have been and where he had been, he deserved an equal fare of treatment, irrespective of his affiliation or his status. Any moment you get to deliver any service, it is an opportunity for you given to demonstrate the level, quality, and excellence of the delivery that you can be able to present to any guest or any client or any customer. Most importantly, you just need to have a human touch to it. And as it is always said, you stand nothing to lose anytime you serve humanity without expecting anything in return. A quick reflection on what could have happened to this restaurant. One, the restaurant could have lost revenue because the guest, we can call him John, He left, he wasn't happy, and he was not served. The reputation of this restaurant was injured. Why? John could have gone outside, wherever he could have gone, and probably the feedback that he could have given could have damaged the same name or the brand of this restaurant. And three, the ripple effect of a negative guest review is very costly, and to amend and bring back a complaining guest is equally as costly as maintaining and treating one equally well with excellent service delivery. That is, if the work environment does not promote the ethos that nurture a culture that embraces diversity. This week, we stick with the words of Desmond Tutu, who said, and I quote, "Do the little bits of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world." So, whatever you do, wherever you are as a staff or as an employee, just do your best and leave the rest. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Staff this week. If you have any experience that you want to share with us, please drop me a line on the numbers running down on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our weekly YouTube channel and click on the notification bell. And as we say it from LTS every week, remember, the most highly valued asset of any successful company is the staff. So treat your staff like they are your everything. See you on the next episode of Let's Talk Staff.